Hello and welcome to Footsteps and Photos. My name's Craig and today I'm in the lovely Shropshire town of Bridgnorth. Bridgnorth is a market town in Shropshire, England. The town is split in two by the River Severn. One side is known as High Town and the other Low Town. The current bridge on which we're standing was rebuilt in 1823 by the great 18th and 19th century engineer Thomas Telford. The earliest reference to the town is from the year 895, when the Danes created a camp here. Then, in the year 912, Ethelfleda, who was the Lady of the Mercians and daughter of Alfred the Great, constructed a mound on the west bank of the river, possibly on the site of what is now Bridgnorth Castle, as part of an offensive against the Danes. With its large black and white signage, Ridley's Seeds is a striking building. A plaque states that Ridley's Seeds is from the early 19th century. This was one of many warehouses when the River Severn was a major highway for transportation of merchandise. Between the warehouse and the recommencement of the towpath was a small dock from which goods were hoisted into the warehouse. On the side of the building there's a record of flood water levels. During the 17th century, the Severn was the second busiest river in Europe, providing links to Bristol and from there to the rest of the world. The quayside was a bustling area with riverboats loading and unloading alongside large warehouses which stretched all along the riverside. This interesting looking building is called Harbour House, and next to it you can see the old sign for St Mary's Steps. This is one of about a dozen sets of steps allowing access between High Town and Low Town. Here we are at Lavington's Hole. This red sandstone rock is soft enough to be carved. It is so soft that 400 years ago soldiers dug a 70-foot long tunnel up towards the church above, and people have dug storage rooms and made their homes in the rock. During the Civil War, Bridgnorth was loyal to Charles I. When the town was attacked in 1646, there was a fierce battle in High Town, and the Royalists retreated to the castle. For 3 weeks the parliamentary forces bombarded them from Pan Pudding Hill to the southwest. Then an engineer named Colonel Lavington had the idea of tunnelling from here to under St Mary Magdalene Church and setting light to what was the Royalist store of explosives. The sound of picks and shovels made the king's troops increasingly worried that the cliff would collapse, and fearing thousands would be killed, they surrendered. Along this cliff face you can still see the remnants of several caves. Some of them are still used and incorporated into houses along the ridge. Before we move on, I'll just point out this memorial that commemorates the bond that exists between the people of Bridgnorth and the former Royal Air Force Station, Bridgnorth, which existed between 1939 to 1963. Our next stop is Bridgnorth's famous cliff railway. It was opened on the 7th of July 1892, and you can see the year printed on the sign above the entrance here. The Cliff Railway, also known as the Bridgnorth Funicular Railway or Castle Hill Railway, links the lower part of Hightown, where we are now, to the upper part, a vertical climb of 111 feet or 37 metres. The line is one of 4 funicular railways in the UK built to the same basic design. The others were the Clifton Rocks Railway in Bristol, the Linton and Lynmouth Cliff Railway in Devon, and the Constitution Hill Railway in Aberystwyth in Wales. A funicular railway is a type of inclined railway that uses a cable system to haul 2 counterbalanced carriages up and down a steep slope. The carriages are permanently attached to opposite ends of a cable, which is looped over a pulley at the top of the track. For its first 52 years, a water balance system was used. A water tank below each carriage was filled while at the top, and the tank at the bottom was emptied at the same time. When the brakes were released, gravity allowed the heavier carriage to move down the slope and pull the lighter carriage up the other side. Between 1943 and 1944, the system was converted to run on electricity. Here you can see the pulley system in action as the carriage arrives at the top. Before we move on, we must take a minute to appreciate these spectacular views. Our next stop is just along Castle Walk to one of Hightown's Church of England churches. This is the Church of St Mary Magdalene, a church built in the classic style of the late 18th century. The architect was Thomas Telford, the man who designed the bridge where we started this walk. The North Tower, with its iconic green cupola, was designed to take advantage of the views in all directions. Just inside the church there's a display which includes a plaque, a portrait and a short biography of Thomas Telford. The plaque was presented by the Telford Development Corporation to commemorate Thomas Telford 1757 to 1834, the architect of this church, built in 1792. As we leave the church and continue along Castle Walk, we come across another set of steps leading down the hill to Lowtown. As you can see, these are called library steps. The castle grounds are beautifully well maintained and are well worth a visit. As you enter from Castle Walk, you are greeted by this lovely ornate bandstand and the impressive war memorial silhouetted against the sky. Here we've got a lovely view of Bridgnorth Station on the Severn Valley Railway. It operates services between Bewdley and Kidderminster. The line used to run through a tunnel under Hightown and proceed through to Ironbridge and then on to Shrewsbury. Above the station you can see Pan Pudding Lane, which was a vantage point used during the Civil War. Before we get to the castle, I must point out my favourite part of the castle grounds. The bushes cut into the shape of an aeroplane, a ship and a tank. These are to represent the RAF, Navy and Army respectively. The information board tells us that there has been a castle on this rock outcrop since the 12th century. But despite its long history, the castle is more famous for its leaning tower than any of the battles ever fought here. Robert de Bellem built a castle and a chapel here in 1101 as somewhere that offered better defences than those of his father, the French Earl Roger de Montgomery, had built in Quatford. During the Civil War, Bridgnorth was loyal to Charles I. When the town was attacked in 1646, there was a fierce battle in Hightown, and the Royalists retreated to the castle, using St Mary Magdalene Church as their ammunition store. After they surrendered, Parliament ordered the castle demolished. In 1102, when Robert refused to comply with a summons from Henry I, the castle was besieged for 4 weeks from Pan Pudding Hill. Although the bombardments were unsuccessful, Henry managed to persuade some of Robert's troops to surrender. All that remains is the ruins of the Great Tower, or keep. You can still see doorways, windows and damage caused by cannonball fire. As we leave the castle grounds, that concludes the first part of our photo walk around Bridgnorth. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see future videos. I'll leave you with a gallery of photos taken during the walk. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.